It might be hard to believe, but Q4 is in full swing. And before we know it, the holidays will be upon us. And just like that, we will turn the page on another calendar year. And that means that now is the time to begin setting your studio goals for 2023 and planning exactly what you'll do to reach them. Over and over again, I've seen that the business owners who consistently achieve their goals and reach their profitability that they want are those that create and stick to a plan. Those who struggle honestly tend to be the ones that bounce from one month to the next, chasing new ideas and not really staying focused on what will move the needle and move the business forward. You can get your business moving in the right direction you want, and I know that you have what it takes. I mean, just look at what so many of you have achieved and accomplished during extraordinarily tough times. 2023 can be the big year for your studio, but you'll need a plan to get there. And that is what I'm talking about with you today. One of my favorite topics, we are going to plan and design the best year yet. Well, hi there, I'm Sarah Glanfield. I'm a business and marketing strategist just for boutique fitness studio owners like you. If you're ready to be inspired and make a bigger impact, you're in the right place. All you need are a few key strategies, the right mindset, and some support along the way. Join me as I share the real-life insights that will help you grow a sustainable and profitable studio. This is the Pilates Business Podcast. Welcome back to the Pilates Business Podcast. I'm Saran. I am absolutely thrilled that you're here with me today. And oh my goodness, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I absolutely love a plan, and not just because it helps to keep me and my kids and everyone in my house organized and everyone in my business organized and all the studio owners that I support organized, but it also is incredibly valuable when it comes to setting goals, and truly having a plan is 100% the key to success. Getting overwhelmed, feeling lost or stuck, struggling to turn a profit, all of these challenges can be really alleviated when you know how you're going to move forward and what you're going to do to move forward. And that all comes with creating that plan and sticking to a plan of action. And one of the very first things that I do with my studio owners inside of Thrive is to help them create their 90-day plan and help them to build out their annual plan. And I have seen just how effective it can be in terms of staying focused on the right things in your business, in terms of moving forward through projects, and how incredibly powerful and impactful that can be to the way that you approach your business when you start to see returns from that happening, right? And many of the studios that I'm working with are meeting or beating their pre-pandemic revenue numbers and growing their business. And I know that you can get there too when you have a plan of action that's going to move you forward towards reaching your goals. So today, we're going to get into goal setting and planning to make that happen. Okay. Now, I cannot believe that I'm saying 2023 is around the corner. And instead of saying ready or not, I want you to be ready right now. I want you to be ready 100% for what will happen next in your business. So maybe you've already started to think about this. Maybe you already started to wonder where your growth will come from in your business, where you'll focus your energy, your time, and the resources to make sure that you will see progress in your business next year. Maybe you've thought about where you might invest some of your time, energy, and your money to make sure that next year is even better than this year. Maybe you've thought about what you want to be different. Maybe you've thought about what you want to be the same. And if you're like some of my superstar studio owner clients, you might even be thinking about what you want 2 years from now or 5 years from now. And if so, that's great. If you're not quite there yet, that's absolutely fine too. I just want to see you be able to move forward and make progress in growing and developing your business. Now, I have to say planning is a bit of a process. And inside of my planning masterclass, which is coming up very, very soon, we get into the nitty-gritty of mapping out your goals for the year ahead and exactly what you'll do to achieve those goals. And I put together the Planning Masterclass as a hands-on workshop where we put together your plan together, because I know how hard it can be to set aside the time to do this on your own. I also know how hard it can be to figure out where to start when it comes to planning. And there are a lot of big mistakes that tend to kind of catch people when it comes to setting goals and planning for a business. And I see people stumble and fall in the first month and then never quite recover. And I don't want that for you. So I have put together my annual planning masterclass. It's a hands-on workshop just for you if you want to join. So listen in for some more details around that later on. Okay. But here on the podcast today, I've got some advice that will help you to think about how you can start to put a plan together for your business successfully. I've actually got 5 tips for you. You know how I like my tips, and I like them in odd numbers. So I've got 5 for you here today. All right. So the first thing I have to say when it comes to thinking about your plan, and if you're someone who does kind of tend to sit down at the beginning of the month, the beginning of the week to think about what you want to achieve in that week or month ahead, then you'll know that it's really important to carve out time in your calendar and find a space that supports a little bit of creative thinking. And, you know, if you're someone who is running around from task to task and in the middle of a busy studio or in the middle of a busy workday when you're trying to think about your annual plan, it probably will not support you to come up with that sort of creative and big picture mindset, which is kind of the mindset you need to have when it comes to putting together a plan for your business. So really think about where you want to be when you want to plan your next year in your business. Think calm, think clutter-free, not rowdy, kids running around, people asking you for questions, clients talking to you. Make it so that perhaps you may not even need to be in your studio for this. Maybe you might not even want to be at home for this. Maybe the best spot is somewhere where you're not going to get disturbed or distracted, right? And once you have that space chosen, make sure you've dedicated enough time for this. You want to make sure that you have removed your distractions, including your phone, turn it off, put it out of the room if you need to, maybe even take a few minutes to find your center, quick meditation to get your mind clear and focused. Okay. Make sure you're comfortable and you're in a space that makes you just feel very much in a place of abundance and, content and joy, because that is when you're best served to come up with creative and incredible ideas for how you continue to grow your business. Please don't underestimate the power of taking this time for your business. Okay. The second tip I want you to consider is once you've kind of figured out where you need to be to do this type of activity for your business, think about how long it might actually take you. And typically, we tend to underestimate how long it actually takes to put together some planning and think big picture for your business. This isn't something that you're going to get done in 5 or 10 minutes, not even something you're going to get done in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. This is something that you might want to dedicate 2 to 3 hours for. Think about where you want your business to go, to start to think about what that will mean for your business, to think about what you want from your business, what you need from your business next year. Okay. And what I recommend, and I'm a big fan of this, if you've ever worked with me, you know I'm all about time blocking, and that's how you manage to get anything done is you just block out the time on your calendar. And don't block out 20 minutes, don't block out 30 minutes. You will find that if you dedicate the time to this, you will have a much more cohesive and complete plan if you can tackle the bulk of it in 1 or 2 sessions. And, 1 to 2 hours per session is pretty much what I would recommend. It's not an all-day event. It's not a multi-day event. It's not a 10-hour ordeal. It is some very specific amount of time that you're going to focus on going through some very specific exercises that will help you to figure out what you want from your business next year and how you're going to get there. So like I said, inside of my annual planning masterclass, we're actually going to host 2 60-minute workshops where I'm going to take you through that process of planning and establishing your 2023 goals and then putting together that map, the roadmap that's going to get you there. And if you are already inside of my Thrive group program, this is all yours. You get access to this as being a Thrive member, you lucky lot. But if you are not inside of Thrive and you still want to get access to the workshop, then you can find the details for how to access that in the show notes here today. Because I wanted to open it up to more of you. I know every year, some of you come every year to this masterclass, and I know how much you get out of it. And I personally take this time to plan my year. And I know this is a habit that as a business owner, I really, really recommend that you consider developing, and a skill you consider developing, because it really does support your business. Okay. And this kind of brings me nicely to my third tip, which is that before you sit down in that moment and you have the workbook in front of you that you're going to get if you join my masterclass, or perhaps a notebook if you're not, and you're thinking about, okay, what do I want to achieve in 2023? And maybe you write across the top of that notebook, 2023 goals, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, what do I want from my business? It can be really helpful to have thought a little bit about this ahead of time. Perhaps when you're out for your walk, perhaps when you're out for your run, perhaps when you're on the reformer, moving through a flow, you are going to be thinking about, what do I want my business to look like? Because you truly have the power to design your business as you want it. Okay. And if you have got some mentors, if you've got a spouse, a friend, a fellow business owner, a fellow teacher, a fellow studio owner that you can perhaps bounce some ideas off of, this will really serve you well. Someone who perhaps knows your business and who can really inspire ideas and thoughts. Anyone who is involved directly in your business, who knows the ins and outs, and that you trust their opinion and their input, you can also involve. So perhaps if you have a studio manager or a front desk or a lead teacher who you lean on often, who supports your business and yourself in your business, they could be a good person to approach. Anyone who is integral to your business. That could also mean your bookkeeper, or if you've got a marketing person, or typically, we also lean on our spouses or our partners or family members a lot as well. So anyone who knows you well and knows your business well. And they can help to perhaps feed some ideas and suggestions for growth. All right. So be aware of your surroundings, be aware of who is around you and what input they could have on this, on your plan for the future. Okay. Okay, so number 3 is I definitely want you to consider the input of others, but only the input of those whose opinions are important and that you value. This isn't about putting it out there to the vote to everyone out there. They're all going to have great opinions and great ideas, and not all of them will serve you and your business. So make sure you put those suggestions through the filter of what you want as well. Okay. All right. So the 4th tip I have for you, and this is kind of a big one. And this really it's really intimately connected to the mindset, which I think is absolutely paramount to success as a studio owner. And this is that you absolutely have to be ready to commit to your business and to your goals. And when you are building a business for the long term, you want to build a business that is solid, that is strong, that is sustainable for both you and the business itself, right? Which means that in order for it to be successful over the long term, you have to commit to it being successful for the long term, which might mean doing things slightly differently than if you were perhaps trying to build a business for the next 3 months, right? There are going to be things that you might do slightly differently. And one of those things is you are going to need to commit to the long-term growth of your business and to building relationships and to putting together, investing in a customer journey for your clients that supports ongoing visits and engagement with your clients. And that might be a different perspective than perhaps that of the perspective of, okay, I just need to figure out what I need to do this month. Right. And once you take the step back, and as the CEO of your business, you are the only one that sees it all. You're the only one who is aware of every part of your business. You are the one that has to take what we call that 10,000 foot view of your business. And when you do that, you're going to see things that other people are never going to see. So I gave you some advice earlier about asking people for input and insight and suggestions and ideas. You want to put it through the filter of what you see in your business. And you have to, you really need to recognize that you are the only one that sees it all. You truly are. And that means that you get to say, actually, that's a great idea, but I'm not ready for that yet. Or that's a great idea, and that's what we need to do this year. Or that's a great idea, and we need to do it right now. Or we need to say, that's a great idea, but no, it's not right for me at all. Okay. So you have to be ready to step into that role of the CEO and be able to take that sort of big picture view of your business. And it's really hard when you are kind of what they say in the trees, right? You can't see the forest for the trees because you're in it every single day. So the importance of taking the time to put together this annual plan will help you to see gaps and opportunities in your business that if you don't do this exercise, you may miss, and that might be costing you not just revenue or profit, but it might also be costing you in terms of stress and energy and anxiety, right? And we measure both of those things because both are important as a business owner. We want to see you make money and do it in the most stress-free way possible, right? So taking that big picture approach, this is what this big picture planning session is all about, is not thinking about the how-tos and the tiny details and who's going to do what, when, how, what day. It's about, okay, what big picture, if I want to grow my business by this much, or if I want to do that next year in my business, what needs to happen big picture? Okay. And so maybe you have a financial goal. Maybe there's a project that's been lingering there, right? It could be a goal to pay yourself more or even give yourself more time away from the business. Maybe you want help with marketing. Maybe you want help with bookkeeping. Maybe you want more teachers. Maybe you want to adjust the way that you run your business slightly. Maybe you want to introduce new programs, or, it could be all of the above and more, right? Success over the long term takes dedication and it takes commitment. And part of that planning process is to really fully buy into those plans. So this session is vitally important for figuring out what those big picture opportunities are, what's going to work for your business, and then mapping out a plan to get there. Okay. So tip number 5. All right. I'm moving on swiftly to the last tip I have for you today. So number 1 is we talked about finding a space to be creative and make sure that space is a space from a mindset perspective and a physical perspective, something that's going to support abundance and creativity in your thoughts. Second, I want you to think about how you can block out that time in the calendar. I want you to make sure you've got enough time to carry out this exercise without running out of time and without it feeling stressful, because we cannot be creative when we are stressed out, right? Third, I want you to consider the ideas and suggestions of some of the people around you whose input you value, and then put those ideas and suggestions through a filter of what works for your business. Because as the CEO, which is the 4th tip, stepping into that role and seeing the big picture and committing to long-term success is your role. It's part of your role in your business. And so we need to make sure that we're carving out that time and energy and for you to be able to be creative. Okay. And finally, I want to bring you this final tip which many business owners, many studio owners get stuck in that place of just doing more and more and more and adding to their plate, and that success actually is about just doing more work and working longer hours and working harder and being more exhausted. And many, many folks actually, when they think of success in their business, think of exhaustion. And honestly, when I ask a lot of studio owners about what they want from their business, they will tell me, well, I don't know if I want to be what I really want, which is I want to make a lot of money, and I want to serve great clients, and I want to have a big team, because they tie that directly with more stress and exhaustion. And unfortunately, this is kind of a misconception that comes with growth of a studio business, because success in business is not about doing more and about being more tired and more exhausted and more busy and working more hours. It's actually about working smarter, right? Not harder. It's about stepping into that role of the CEO, which you are more than capable of, or which you are already doing, and enlisting help and hiring people and being a leader in the business, the leader that you already are, and placing a priority on your personal well-being as part of that bigger picture. The only way that you can continue on in your business is if you take care of yourself to avoid being in a split place where you are exhausted and burnt out. So as you're planning, I want you to think about what you need and the role that you need to play in your business for it to continue on and grow. If success to you, if you think about success and you're thinking about being stressed out and exhaustion, then the only way that you will achieve is by doing those things. And so we need to wipe the slate clean and think about success as being something that is easy, that comes naturally to you, and that where you are more than capable of achieving what you want to achieve in your business. And I know that that is possible for you. And I won't lie, this is one of the biggest struggles that I do see amongst studio owners. And if you want to achieve more and you are tying that to burnout and tying that to exhaustion, then you're going to keep circling that over and over again. And I know it's easy to stay in those same habits and routines of doing things they've always been done, even if it's not effective, even if it's no longer serving you, because perhaps you're not sure about what else you should be doing differently. So as you think about the big picture, as you think about how you can grow the business that you really want, as you think about how you're going to design your business heading into 2023, take time to think about the things that you might need to change or let go of to allow space for growth, and decide where you fit in that. And next, you'll just need to simply find a way to get there, which is entirely possible. So success doesn't have to mean more hours or more burnout or more overwhelm. Look at your business and your life objectively. What's working, what isn't, what's bringing in revenue, what isn't. Are you wearing too many hats? How many of them can you hand off to someone else, right? Be honest with yourself. Sometimes letting go truly is the only way to grow. Okay. So there you go. You've heard my top tips for setting yourself up for success to make plans going into 2023. And if you are interested in doing this together, then I would love to invite you into my annual planning masterclass. Inside of the masterclass, I will help you to create that plan that is in total alignment with the business that you want for yourself. You're going to uncover how you can set those boundaries, perhaps set those non-negotiables for you and your business as you head into 2023. Not just for 1 month or 1 week, but for the whole year. And I'm going to take you through the exercise that will help you take that big picture view of your business. And I'm not just going to tell you how to plan, but we're actually going to do it together. So you're going to put that on your calendar and you're going to show up live with me and we're going to work through the workbook together. You're also going to get a comprehensive online guide that you can get access to anytime to get your questions answered. We'll help guide you through some of those big picture mindset challenges that I see that I encourage you to sort of will help to develop that sort of big picture mindset, I should say, and put you in a place where you really are in complete control. Okay. And the masterclass this year, the annual planning masterclass this year, isn't just about putting together those big goals. It's about literally implementing the actions step by step, the milestones you'll need to reach along the way, and exactly when during the year you're going to work on implementing those actions and those strategies and those activities so that you keep moving forward. Because one of the big mistakes actually I see a lot of folks making when it comes to planning for their business is that we tend to overload how much you want to achieve in the first 3 months of the year. And then it's almost like we forget that July, August, September, and October exists. And when we take this big picture approach and I show you how to think about the whole year, then you see how much time and opportunity you have for growth throughout the year. And when you are organized and when you have a plan, truly that's when a lot of the stress and the overwhelm dissipates. It's when the anxiety sort of fades away and you can look at your plan for the week and the month and the year ahead, and the quarter ahead, I should say, and the year ahead. And you'll see exactly where you need to focus and you stop worrying because you know that you've got it covered. Okay. So I promise you that if you join the annual planning masterclass, you will leave the masterclass with your 2023 plans in hand. So you can start the year confident and focused and strong. So you're going to find all the details in the show notes, or you can go to spring3.com/planning masterclass. All right. So there you have it. My 5 top tips for setting yourself up for a record-breaking business year and helping you thinking about the things you can do to support that planning process. Okay. Now, like I said, if you can use a little bit of help and guidance, please, please, please don't hesitate to consider joining me and all of my Thrive Studio owners and other studios out there who join me every year inside of my annual planning masterclass. It's one of the most energizing sessions of the year, and it's a super popular workshop. I don't host it any other time of year, just this time of year. There are a few spots available. It's not open registration. So if you are interested, I really, really encourage you to hop in to the show notes and grab the link, or go to spring3.com/planning masterclass. I hope this is helpful to you as you continue to build and grow your business. And I hope I'll see you soon.